with the blockbuster cabinet nominations and appointments announced this week. President-elect Trump nominating former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz to be U.S. Attorney General. Iraq and Afghanistan veteran and Fox News host Pete Hegseth to be Defense Secretary, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be Health and Human Services Secretary. All of this following earlier announcements, including South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem for Homeland Security Secretary, Florida Senator Marco Rubio for Secretary of State, and veteran and former Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. President Trump's nominations were met with fierce hostility and backlash from Democrats and the mainstream media, and support from Republicans.
Look, Matt Gaetz is a brilliant legal mind. Matt Gaetz will be the left-wing socialist's worst enemy when I think he will get confirmed. Matt can handle himself. He has nothing to hide.
It's one thing to pick people who are loyal to the president. It's another to pick people who are so patently unqualified and who would just trash the Justice Department and use it for purely partisan purposes.
All of this despite President Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland's reportedly weaponized DOJ, FBI, CIA, and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who has overseen the flow of more than 10 million people illegally entering the country. Now we turn to the road ahead and whether President Trump will get his nominees confirmed. Joining me now are two people who will be among those to decide. Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt and Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville. Gentlemen, good to see you both. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you, Maria.
Eric Schmitt, let me start with you. Are you expecting President Trump's nominees to pass through the confirmation hearings and get confirmed?
I do. I think if you take a step back and look at what happened in this election, President Trump delivered the greatest political comeback in American history. The Democrats tried to keep him off the ballot. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to throw him in jail for the rest of his life. He survived all of, including assassination attempts. He survived all of that and emerged winning all the battleground states, including the popular vote. How did he do it? He created a multi-ethnic working class coalition, really the disruptors versus the establishment. I think that's important to note as we roll into these confirmation hearings. He is willing to take on permanent Washington in a way that no president has, certainly in my lifetime. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to deliver that change, to take on permanent Washington, return the power back to the people. But you can't just do it with the Article 1 branch. You have to have people you trust to go into these agencies and have a real reform agenda. And that's why I think there's real momentum to get these nominations confirmed to actually deliver what President Trump promised on the campaign trail.
Are you planning to vote yes on all of his nominees?
I do. I think we need reformers. I think we need disruptors. I think we need people who want to see real change in these agencies. You look at the Justice Department, they were going after Catholics, moms who showed up to school board meetings, trying to throw the chief political opponent of President Biden in jail. This is nonsense. And so we need real reformers up and down the cabinet, and I think President Trump has put forth qualified nominees.
But Tommy Tuberville, now I'd like your take on it. Let's admit, gentlemen, even Republicans, some Republicans are against some of his nominees. There were Republicans that were talking against Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. So I ask you the same question. Will his nominees get confirmed?
Well, there's going to be a lot of hard work, Maria. I've been in the Senate for 4 years, and we've fought back against this radical agenda from the left. We've had to play defense. We've had no chance to play offense. Now we have a new head coach in President Trump. He'll start January the 20th, but we'll start in the new Congress January the 5th. And we need to all come together. Our job in the Senate is to advise and consent. And we need to talk about each one of these confirmees. If anybody's got any problems between now and January the 5th, let's work this out. We've got the numbers to do it ourselves. We don't need any Democrats to help us. We've got the numbers. Let's step to the plate, do our job, because we have to get this country back going in the right direction. President Trump only has a short period of time. 4 years is not long, and we're going to need every second to get this country back going in the right direction. But he needs the team around him that's going to help him. He can't do it by himself.
What specifically do you think the focus will be on the confirmation hearing for the AG, Matt Gaetz? What do you want to hear from Matt Gaetz that you believe will placate some of the naysayers out there, if there's anything?
Well, I think
Twitter.
getting the Justice Department back to what it should be doing, which is going after violent crime.
Right.
We've seen unprecedented rises in violent crime across the country. The FBI statistics bear that out. We need an attorney general that is going to actually get that department focused on what it should be, which is protecting the American people, protecting their constitutional rights. That's what government's supposed to do. Its mission is to protect our rights, not to infringe upon them and settle these petty political scores that we've seen Merrick Garland do. It's been a stain on the Justice Department. It's been the worst 4 years that agency has ever seen, and we need somebody that's going to go in there, shake things up, and get it back to where it should be.
Yeah, maybe, but there was also real political dirty tricks played on President Trump, and there was no one that was held accountable for that Russia collusion hoax. Should they be held accountable now, Tommy Tuberville?
Yes, Maria, we need a fighter. We don't need somebody that's going to wade their way in, feel their way around. Matt Gaetz has been there. He's seen everything. He's been up close and personal. He's talked about it on the House floor. He's been in the Judiciary Committee. He's not going to be new to this. He understands it. He's a lawyer. He's very good on his feet. He knows how to interrogate people. And we need a fighter. And President Trump needs a fighter. But the main thing for President Trump, he needs loyalty. He needs somebody that understands it, but's going to watch his back, not stand up for things that are wrong. But we need an attorney general that's going to stand up for the Constitution and make sure we go by the Constitution and don't weaponize the DOJ.
Let's talk about RFK. There's also Republicans pushing back on his leadership for the HHS position. Your thoughts? What comes out in that hearing? Now, I expect these hearings to be, early January? Eric Schmidt?
Yeah, I think we'll get going. Yeah, I think we'll get going in early January, right after the new Congress is sworn in, and I'd like to see some accountability there as well. I think when I was Attorney General in Missouri, we sued on the Missouri versus Biden, which exposed this vast censorship enterprise. HHS was right in the middle of that. Anthony Fauci, we took his deposition. I think there needs to be real accountability. The lies that were pushed onto the American people did great damage, ruined livelihoods. You had people being fired for their jobs because they questioned the quote-unquote science and did get shot. This is nuts. It was Orwellian, and I think that there needs to be real investigations in that way, and I think RFK can provide change to help President Trump deliver on his campaign promises.
Senator Tuberville, President Trump has been very clear. His priorities will be deporting the millions, and certainly beginning with those who have committed crimes in this country. How will that work in terms of, he's going to do executive orders, I know that, on the first day and in the first 100 days. But in terms of actual legislation, what are you expecting in the Senate with regard to the deportation and the extending of the tax cuts?
Well, obviously, the first thing we'll do is border and tax cuts, Maria. But the thing about President Trump, he understands the problem. He's been all throughout the country. We've been overrun by illegal immigrants, some good, some bad. We can all understand that. But Tom Homan's the perfect guy for this because he understands law enforcement. He's going to get all local, state, federal law enforcement together. He's going to do as much as he possibly can to rid the people in this country that's costing us billions of dollars a month, Maria. We can't afford this. We need to get back to helping the people of this country. But Tom Homan is the perfect choice for this to start this process. There will be more lawsuits on this than you can shake a stick at because the Democrats are going to fight this from day one because they know this is their voters, not their citizens.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, we'll be watching your work. Thanks very much for being here this morning. Senators Eric Schmidt and Tommy Tuberville.